So how long have you been with the Ohio Village Muffins?
This is my sixth season.
Wow, that is a long time. And how did you find out about it and get involved with it?
My wife and I moved to the Columbus area about 6 years ago, and we host kind of the largest vintage baseball festival on Labor Day, and I went to see it in 2013, and then it looked real interesting, and I joined, and I've been really active ever since.
Oh my gosh. So tell us a little bit about the Ohio Village Muffins.
Okay, well, the Ohio Village comes from the fact that we are sponsored by the Ohio History Connection, and they have, in the back, they have the Ohio Village, and so that's kind of where the Ohio Village comes from. And muffin was an actual term back in the day. Muff referred to kind of like a error, and muffins, you had your first nine, your second nine, and then your muffin nine, who were some of your least talented guys. And when they were first formed, some of the guys that were played were not necessarily the most talented, so that's where the name comes from.
So that means the underdogs become the top dogs, right?
Well, I don't know about that. We have a lot of guys that are passionate about the game, but maybe sometimes the talent isn't always the case, so we just have a lot of guys that love the game.
So tell us a little bit. You have some vintage baseball artifacts with you. One is a baseball. What's different about this baseball than what we use today?
Well, it was back then, they didn't have machines to wind them up. It's called a lemon peel ball. You can see there's about a quarter size end of it. It was in 4 pieces. They would wrap some twine all inside, and then they would stitch them up, and that's the ball they played with. So it's a little bit bigger than I would say a modern ball, maybe a little bit softer, but not all that much softer. But that's the type of ball we play with.
Okay, and what about the uniforms? The uniforms are pretty cool.
The uniforms, some of the early uniforms were based on firemen's uniforms. You look at firemen from the mid-19th century, they kind of looked like this. So some of the first teams that played kind of looked like firemen, and then it was into the 1870s when they started to get the things like the knickers and that type of thing. So we play in the 1860s, and this is the type of uniform they would have had.
Okay, and now I read a little something about how the baseball bats were a little bit longer. Is that true too?
They could have been. Yeah, there were some specifications, but they could have been longer. But I'll say most guys don't play with real long baseball bats. But the thing is, back then the pitching was underhand, and so you were actually in the early days expected to try to throw it where the batter could hit it. And so, probably having a bigger bat was okay back then. But as the pitcher in the later part of the 19th century, as they start throwing overhand, then they probably have smaller bats and all that. But yes, they might have been a little bit longer.
So are the Ohio Village Muffins going to win this one today?
I don't know. It looks like a pretty good team today, so I would come and take a look, and hopefully it'll be competitive.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So how did you gentlemen get involved with this team today?
Council President Marty O'Donnell asked us several months ago to play in this game, and at the time I wasn't really sure what it was, and I just agreed to do that. And then as we got closer, I found out we were actually playing an old-time game, baseball, so That's how it happened.
Yeah. Mr. Valentine, when was the last time you played baseball?
Before my hips were replaced. I played softball on a regular basis probably 10 years ago.
Probably about 5 years ago is when I tried to retire from softball at that time and take up golf, which is more easier on the knees.
Okay. So are you guys going to win today?
We sure hope so. We're going to give it a good attempt.
We haven't seen the competition yet, so we're not sure exactly, but we'll give it our go.
And if we don't, it's Councilman O'Donnell's fault.
Yeah.
We're saying that right up front.
We got the home field advantage, so we should win.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we have unofficially or officially dubbed you the Shoreman today. Is that right?
That's right. Avon Lake Shoreman, here we are.
But today it's in blue and white instead.
That's right.
Well, gentlemen, good luck with the game today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.